Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chat Sports TV. I'm your host, Nick Diaz, at The Lamb Show on social media with the New York Knicks Report. We're going to talk about the draft grades for the New York Knicks, what they did in the 2019 NBA draft, as well as free agency. And in case you were wondering, where has The Lamb Show been the last couple of weeks? Folks, I've been miserable. Plain and simple. Thanks a lot, James Dolan. Once again, key free agents do not want to come to the Big Apple. They did come to the Big Apple, but they didn't come to play for our team, the New York Knicks. James Dolan, once again, cannot land the big free agent names. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony, who is one of the most polarizing figures in all of New York Knicks basketball history. He was a guy that was a top free agent to be, and he wanted to come play for New York. So we need to give that guy some due. Shout out to you, Carmelo. Hope we see you in the NBA sometime soon. With that being said, let's jump right into the draft grades for the 2019 Knicks draft class. And as we look at player card number 1, the third overall pick, R.J. Barrett, who, I gotta be honest with you guys, those first 2 games were tough on the eyes to see. 7 of 32 from the field was what he was shooting, and he did look like he was a deer in the headlights a lot of times, especially in particular that one game opening night of Summer League with the Pelicans. Look, I do want to give him the benefit of the doubt. All these guys that you're seeing in Summer League, they haven't played basketball since the tournament ended in April, right? And it was Zion against RJ. Who knows the pressures that this young kid had to go with. And all the spotlight was on Zion. So anything that RJ Barrett did in that game was going to be nitpicked to the smallest tiny margin. With that being said, the number 3 overall pick is the only player in the Summer League to have surpassed 50 points, 20 rebounds, and 20 assists. That is a feat that only he has done. Now, he has shot a lot of times, but the last 2 games that he's played, coming off a game in which he had 17, 10, and 6, and his game the other night also, it does seem like he's finally finding his rhythm, and he's fine-tuning his tools in the toolbox, and it looks like RJ Barrett's going to be a bona fide star in this league. And the other guy that's been a surprise, shout out to the boss man, James Yoder, Michigan up, baby. Ignas Brazdeikis shooting over 60% from 3, the second round pick the New York Knicks discovered in the draft. The former Michigan Wolverine is lights out from 3. Seems to have tremendous chemistry with RJ Barrett and the rest of those young bucks on the New York Knicks. Fizdale is raving for him. He does fit the mold of the new era of the NBA, where you need to have these stretch guys, these big guys that can shoot threes. Look, he's not going to shoot 60% because Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, and he don't shoot 60%. But if he's a guy that can stretch the floor and be a pivotal piece off your bench, or maybe later down the line becomes a primetime player in your lineup, this could be a big addition. Also, shout out to the Knicks staff. We don't really give them a lot of credit, but another second round pick that they discovered in the draft out of nowhere, really. Sure, he played for the Wolverines, but this is a guy like Mitchell Robinson last year who's going to be a prime player for the New York Knicks. My question to you guys, weigh-in options. What draft grade would you give the New York Knicks? A, B, C, D, or an F? I think an F would be really harsh. I am going to go with an A-. From what I've seen from RJ Barrett and for Ignas Brazdeikis. If I am pronouncing that wrong, folks, bear with me. It is a tough name to pronounce, but I'm going to go with an A-. Look, what you need when you take a guy top 3 overall is you need him to be a all-star, all-NBA caliber kind of guy. It is very early, but I do like what I've seen from RJ Barrett in the last 2 games, because those first 2 games were rough. And Brazdeikis, if he becomes a pivotal role player, if he's a guy that could be in your top 8, the top 8 is the most important thing. Rotations get narrowed down come playoff time. You've seen it year in, year out. D'Antoni has done it with the Rockets. The Warriors did that. Even the Raptors. You're playing 7 to 8 guys minimum in the playoffs. So if Brazdeikis could be that, I think that's a big move for the Knicks. As we pull up the graphic now, free agency tracker, 2019 free agents that the New York Knicks have signed. They did have the most cap space in the National Basketball Association this offseason. Let's take a look at how they divvied out their money. 3-year, $63 million deal with a team option in the 3rd year for one Julius Randle. Veteran big man signs a 2 for $20 deal with a 2nd year team option. That is Taj Gibson. Bobby Portis, 2 for $31 million. Second season is a team option. It is very important to know, folks. Though the Knicks are being slandered by everyone on social media and NBA Twitter in particular, a lot of these deals are team friendly with team options. The only guy that is signed long-term of these free agents is Julius Randle. We'll get to that in a little bit. Reggie Bullock, 2 for $21 with a team option after year 2. Wayne Ellington, 2 for $16 million with a team option in 2020-2021. And Elfrid Payton, the former lottery pick of the Orlando Magic, 2 for $18 million. And he's going to join that pretty crowded backcourt with Kadeem Allen, who's playing in Summer League, as well as Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. Overall, how do you guys feel about the New York Knicks offseason? Give it a grade scale, 1 to 10 in the comments below. 10 obviously being a total success, 1 being a total disaster. I'll be honest with you guys. The only signing that is getting me excited is Julius Randle. Julius Randle is an absolute beast. We'll get to Julius Randle in a second, but this guy averaged 20 and 10 last year. Julius Randle is the only guy that is a big time player in this league at the moment. The other guys are just your typical role players. I'm going to go with a 3. And the reason why is because of the hopes and dreams that we have all season long just being completely put in the toilet. Look, we didn't get Durant. We didn't get Kawhi. Hell, we didn't even get Middleton or Jimmy Butler, Kemba Walker. We didn't get anyone. Anyone that the Knicks fans wanted all year long, we did not get. So I'm going to go with a 3. It is a little harsh, but I'm going to go with a 3 on that one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. The guys that we really wanted, unfortunately for us Knicks fans, they're playing in Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant going with the Brooklyn Nets. And what I think us Knicks fans should do, because, let's face it, we are a little petty sometimes, is this is the hill us Knicks fans need to die on. We need to absolutely slander those additions. We need to point out that Kyrie Irving has been a disaster with LeBron James and Cleveland. After he won the title, he wanted to be a man. He wanted to be his own superstar. He wanted to be Robin and Batman, and he couldn't get along with LeBron James. So he asked to be out. Sort of a like locker room cancer, right? Then he goes to Boston, the tremendous young core. He doesn't play last year in the 2 years ago in the playoffs, and they go to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavs. And then you think to yourself, they're gonna get Kyrie and Gordon Hayward back. They're gonna be chilling. That didn't happen. Locker room cancer. Couldn't get along with Brad Stevens. Kind of threw the young bucks under the bus too. So Kyrie is now going to another young team with a guy who is the man, Kevin Durant. At the time, there was a time during the playoffs where we thought that this guy was the best player in the world. So he's coming off an Achilles. We should just, as Knicks fans, say, why would you sign a guy at 32 years old coming off an Achilles? I think he's going to be fine, but this is just a hill if we want to have a little fun with Nets fans and make us Knicks fans, who have been miserable for a very long time, feel better about ourselves. Here is the first name that we're going to get into the breakdown of the NBA free agents that the Knicks signed. And my question for you as you look at the player card for one, Julius Randle, is will Julius Randle be an all-star for the Knicks? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let us know in the comments below what you think about Julius Randle. Does he have the potential to be an all-star this year? And here's the thing. If Julius Randle averages 20 and 10 in the Garden, he's going to be an all-star, folks. Guarantee. And here's why. Because Knicks fans, we want someone to be good for this team so bad. We're starving for Knicks basketball to be great. The Knicks would be what the Chicago Cubs were to baseball, winning a championship. That's how monumental a Knicks championship would be. And if Julius Randle was to drop 20 and 10 like he did last year for the Pelicans, the Knicks fan base is going to get him in the All-Star game. There's going to be momentum from social media. They're going to go to the voting booth, and they're going to be punching in those tickets online, however it is that they tally up these votes for Julius Randle to be an All-Star. I think they're going to force feed him the ball. He is the only really good all-star caliber player that the Knicks have this year, let's face it. So I think if he averages 20 and 10, he's going to be an all-star. Next up, Taj Gibson made his name really as a guy off the bench role player for the Chicago Bulls back when they had Joakim Noah, Luol Deng, and Derrick Rose and all those guys in Chicago. With Minnesota, he kind of was brought in to be a mentor to Karl Anthony Towns. The jury's still out on Karl-Anthony Towns. He has disappointed a couple of people the last couple of years, but he is a talented player, and I think that's what the Knicks are really doing with Mitchell Robinson. I think Taj Gibson is that veteran presence that a guy like Mitchell Robinson really needs. Let's face it, last year the Knicks' veteran presence was what, Lance Thomas? Congrats, enjoy that. You know, what's there to say? You got to bring Taj Gibson in. He could show Mitchell Robinson the ropes and show him how to be a pro and how to manage his minutes and how to travel and whatnot. So I think that's why Taj Gibson was brought in. Next up is Bobby Portis. And the biggest concern and the biggest question that I have for you fans watching this video is, yes or no, is Bobby Portis going to punch someone in the face on the New York Knicks roster, folks? Let's face it, this guy had his issues with Chicago. He wanted out of town. He threw a right hook, I think it was, to one Nikola Mirotic, and he ended up leaving town. Broke his face, I think, you know. So Bobby Portis does seem to have some issues that he needs to deal with. But this is a guy who I think is a high motor guy. Shot a career high from three-point last year. He is that prototypical stretch four that you're looking for. Close to 40% from three last year with the Washington Wizards. Bobby Portis, look, it is a 1 year deal with it's a 2 year deal, excuse me, but there is a team option after year one. So let's see what Bobby Portis. I just think that we need to worry about him not knocking out RJ Barrett, because then that'd be an ultimate disaster. Reggie Bullock, I'm sorry, folks. It's not doing anything for me, right? A veteran shooting guard coming in. Maybe you want him to be a mentor, but I don't know how much you could really learn from a guy like Reggie Bullock. That's why I think they brought him in. Wayne Ellington, you need those guys from three-point land to sort of stretch the floor. Maybe be a guy that RJ Barrett could drive and dish, or even a guy like Devin Smith Jr. could drive and dish. You do need those guys to knock down shots from the outside. Wayne Ellington, not terrible. Kind of like the Wayne Ellington deal. If you could go back, he did have that 1 year with the Miami Heat where I believe he was top 5 in the NBA in three-point percentage that year. So if he could duplicate that with the Knicks, that could be something interesting. You know how much we love our three-point shooters. Steve Novak was probably the most popular player of that 2012-2013 Knicks roster. And last but not least, Elfrid Payton. Look, Elfrid Payton, former lottery pick. I am very outspoken on lottery picks. Guys come into the NBA 18, 19 years old and they're throwing millions of dollars. I'm 28 years old. If I'm throwing millions of dollars, I'm going to do something immature as well. I can't imagine being 18, 19 years old and being in the NBA and being a star. Everyone knows you and you're throwing millions of dollars. And the knock on Elfrid Payton was that he didn't mature. This guy is still young. I would never sell my stock on lottery picks. I would always try to see if I could rebuild those guys. And to get them for cheap, $9 million per year, why not? What's the worst that could happen? You could cut them after year 2. So let me know what you guys think of every single grade for the New York Knicks free agents. As I run through back, you know, Julius Randle, I'll say a B+. Taj Gibson, I'll give him a B- if he could fill in the role of mentor. Bobby Portis, I'm gonna go with a C. Reggie Bullock, F. Don't understand it, don't care, don't try to convince me otherwise. Wayne Ellington, if he can knock down some threes, you know, give you 2-3 threes a game. Have people have to respect him from 3. I think that could be really interesting. I'll go with a C+. You know, it does seem like I'm very generous with these grades. And Elfrid Payton, let's go with a C+ as well. So those are my grades for the New York Knicks free agents. Last but not least, let's get some predictions, folks. The Westgate Casino in Las Vegas put out the win totals that they do every single year right after free agency. And the New York Knicks, once again, back-to-back years, sit at 28.5 wins. If you think they're going to go over, that means they have to win 29 games or more. If you think they're going to go under 20.5 wins, they won 17 games last year. That was a lock to be under. The Knicks had incentive to tank. They would have to win 28 games or less. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think the New York Knicks are going to do. Are they going to go over or under 28.5 wins? With that being said, youtube.com/chatsportstv. I am at The Lamb Show on social media, and we'll catch you guys next time on Chat Sports.